Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's me, Mace, coming to you from Canada. Yes, I am a Canadian. That's me. I'm also a rapper and producer. You can check out my music on Spotify, Apple Music, any streaming platform probably that you use to stream music. It would mean a lot. I would be honored. I would be honored if you'd listen to my music. If you like rap, if you like hip hop, if you like old school, you might like something. Yeah, so you can find that. Just search up Macy, MAC3Y. This video, why don't the Dutch wear helmets? I think from what I've gathered from the Dutch videos on cycling that we've watched is the Dutch don't wear helmets. The number one reason, the most important reason the Dutch don't wear helmets is strictly fashion. Who in their right mind wants to be seen wearing a bicycle helmet? They look terrible. You look like a nerd. You look awful. Take it off. Bicycle helmets, bike helmets are not cool. That's the number one reason. Okay, all jokes aside, I think it's more culturally and also probably from the societal or the government, like they don't want people to be scared of biking, or they want biking to, whether it's subconscious or not, they want biking to be seen as something that's safe, because it is safe. And I think the stats bear that out. And the reason it's so safe in the Netherlands is because people have a little thing that we used to say. Me and my friends used to say this all the time. CC. Do you know what CC means? Common courtesy. Because the cyclists have common courtesy. They're experienced. They're skillful and courteous. So they're not going to be zipping through, with their earbuds in while talking on their phones and causing accidents. They're actually going to be courteous, and they're going to be careful, and they're going to be, looking out for their fellow citizens, for their fellow people on the bike lanes. And in a society like that, everything is better. And it seems the Dutch have really figured out the biking thing. And you love to see it. So let's hop into this. Why don't the Dutch wear helmets? Obviously, nobody wants to be caught dead wearing one.
During my trip to the Netherlands, I noticed an interesting trend. Practically no cyclists here wear helmets. And I found that to be a bit odd coming from the States where almost everybody wears helmets.
Hell, it's a law, I think, in British Columbia, where I am. I think it's like technically a law. The RCMP might not enforce it to it. I don't think the RCMP really enforced it, but I'm pretty sure it's a law on the books. You got to wear a freaking helmet.
So it's definitely highly encouraged. And so I asked a lot of people and I got all sorts of different responses. It's at a particularly interesting time for me because I'm coming from the States, having two bike shops, and the National Transportation Safety Board just recommended that all states implement helmet laws. So here you see really young kids, you can see kids traveling on bikes with parents. None of them really wear helmets, and the thing is that they don't really see helmets as a protector against the more dangerous things of cycling. One of the most dangerous things when cycling is getting hit by an automobile, and in the States we really don't have that much protection against that. Bike lanes and really protected infrastructure is one of the best defenses. One of the things I heard, which is quite interesting, that there might be a slight decrease in the potential to be injured by wearing a helmet on an individual basis, but on an overall basis for the whole community, it actually decreases the potential of being injured on a pretty significant factor. They don't feel like, oh, well, we have this level of protection, this kind of, from my perspective, some level of false sense of security. It's
because, like, you even saw on the prior clip, you saw a vehicle coming down the road there, but it looks like more so a bike lane primarily first, and the cars come second. So the car is going slow and cautiously. But like he's saying, yeah, there's less chance, almost a negligible chance of being hit by a car, it seems, from all the videos that I've seen in the Netherlands, which means people are very comfortable. And it's very unlikely that if you got hit by another cyclist that you're going to be seriously injured unless they didn't have any common courtesy and they're like going way too fast in an area where they shouldn't be going so fast. But if you just go at a steady Eddie pace, you're going to get where you're going very efficiently. And I wish we had similarities here, but unfortunately, we're out of luck on that one, I guess.
People might end up becoming more aggressive as a result. And I think that cars end up respecting cyclists because of that as well.
Yes,
you find that
what I was
cars
thinking.
understand that, yeah, this is a fragile human being. You know, they don't have the same level of protection that I have in this automobile. So I asked my friend Henning to give some comments on this. He's lived here for quite some time, and I think that he can give a good perspective on this, but it's by no means the whole picture. And I'd love to hear from you what you might think on this topic or what your experience is here.
In Holland, we don't think about wearing a helmet when going out on a commute.
It's also too hot. You're going to be sweating. Nobody wants to get there. And it screws up your hair. You can't have that. Look, I got a hat on right now. I guarantee if I take my hat off, my hair is going to be a mess. So I got to continue wearing the hat. But if I hadn't put the hat on and I had nice flowing locks, which of course I have, but it's been screwed up with the hat. But if those flowing locks were flowing, I wouldn't put on a hat because it's gonna screw up my flowing locks, man. And that's obviously what the Dutch people think. I'm not gonna screw up my nice, beautiful haircut. I spent 20 minutes getting my hair ready for today. I'm not gonna screw that up by putting a stupid helmet on. It's not even gonna protect me. We don't need helmets, man. Yeah.
Getting from A to B, it's just a no-brainer. We just get our bikes and we hop on the bike and we take off like 1 million other people in Amsterdam, like 17 million people in the Netherlands. They do the same and they respect each other on the bicycle. They know, okay, I'm vulnerable and I'm not fighting for that last inch. No, at a certain point, you just give in. One of the biggest possible injuries you can get is being hit by a car. But the chance of being hit by a car in the Netherlands is very little. Just for the simple reason, every car driver in the Netherlands is also a cyclist. They know how to behave. If they take a right turn, they know I have to look over my shoulder because there's cyclists coming along and they know, okay, how fragile they are. And that's one of the main reasons why it's relatively safe to ride a bike, even without a helmet. A helmet is not...
So it's essentially a cultural thing. It's just in North America, United States, Canada, wherever you want to call it. Pretty much North America, but I'm sure a lot of other countries is too. Essentially comes down to cultural differences and different respect levels for cyclists and different levels of understanding of the fragility of a human person and empathy and just simple common sense and common courtesy. Whereas in North America, US, Canada, whatever you want to call it, it's more so about me. I got to get where I'm going as fast as I can. Screw everybody else. Let's have a road rage. People get shot. That escalated quickly. And shit like that does happen in the States, which is the crazy thing. It's absolutely crazy. You'll see people like getting in a road rage accident or getting in a road rage incident and one of them pulls out a pistol. What? Dude, you're trying to get from point A to point B. What's the big deal? You got cut off. Whoop-de-doo. Have some fun. Like, live a little. Don't just simmer down.
Preventing you from getting injuries.
I don't get it.
And maybe even gives you a wrong idea of safety. If you're not wearing a helmet, you already know that, okay, if I crash into a car or if I just take a curb too fast and I tip over and crash, then okay, I'm not protected. So if I'm not wearing a helmet, my driving is already less risky. Everybody knows, okay, if I'm riding like an idiot, the chances I knock someone else over and myself is very high. So they're used to anticipate, and what they do is eye contacting. They are eyeballing each other when just riding, okay, he's not moving, okay, then I'll move. Yeah? If he gets the feeling, okay, he's going to move, then I just keep on driving. And it works simple like that. Because you will see 99% of all the road cyclists all dressed up in Lycra, going 35 kilometers an hour, they are wearing a helmet. Versus an hour later, when they come out of the shower and they want to meet with a friend in a bar, they cycle 2 kilometers on their beat up grandmother's bike into city. Nobody wears a helmet. So they know it has to do with speed. If you're going over 20 kilometers an hour on your road bike racing and in a peloton, and there's a high risk of falling and then injuring your head, so everybody wears a helmet. But in daily life, you just commute.
It's so simple, isn't it? But it's so complicated at the same time. Like this difference between North America and Europe and the Netherlands. Like, I don't think you can say Europe. I think you can only say very specific places, like where this works so well in Amsterdam and in Dutch cities, and other countries in Europe that it does work well in. Like, it's very simple difference. He's breaking it down incredibly succinctly and eloquently, and it makes perfect sense. But I think it really is just that cultural difference of me versus like having some courtesy and understanding for your fellow citizens and road users instead of being selfish. Basically comes down to selfish, unselfish. Sorry. I think damn. Or educated and uneducated. Like, whatever way you want to split it, you can split hairs, but I think it's very simple.
Everybody does it at a certain pace, and if you observe people riding in Amsterdam, you see, okay, it's kind of hectic. At the same time, it has a certain flow. You have slower bicyclists, you have faster bicyclists, and they all mingle, and it works. It is one connected massa riding a bicycle, and they communicate non-verbally, and this works.
Great way to end the video. I love that. Make sure to comment down below for the algorithm. Let's get this video popping, and I'd love to see your comments in the comment section. And we'll see you on the next video, my friends. Peace.